www.nipa.ac.zm. Contact the Administration Office at 0767 670 985. NIPA, where excellence meets probity.
This notice of compliance from the National Health Insurance Management Authority, NEMA, serves to inform the public that all Zambian citizens and established residents of 18 years of age and above are required to register to their National Health Insurance Scheme in accordance with the NHI Act number 2 of 2018. In this regard, all self-employed citizens are required to self-register, while all employers must register their employees within 30 days of employment and thereafter make the prescribed contributions. Remember, registration and contribution to the National Health Insurance is mandatory by law. Be compliant, pay on time to avoid prosecution without further notice. National Health Insurance, leaving no one behind.
Wow, that over there is a very nice Ford. Have you seen it?
Of course. I have been looking at it since we got here. My worry is how people manage such vehicles and where they buy genuine parts from.
I'm sure there's nowhere else apart from Shuma Auto Parts. They are the only supplier of genuine Ford and Mazda parts, which comes straight from the manufacturer. They have everything in stock for both latest and ordinary Mazda and Ford. They also stock service parts such as diesel filters, aircon filters, diesel pumps, steering pumps, turbochargers, engine overhaul gaskets, suspension parts, and body parts. If they don't have parts you're looking for, they can order within 5 to 10 working days. To top it up, Shuma Auto Parts also supply Maxxis tires and CST tires.
Really? But where are they found?
They are found on Chandram Sonda Road, Cruiser Auto Workshop in Lusaka. Call on 0979 192057 and 0960747235. Email shumaautoparts@gmail.com. Shuma Auto Parts for all your genuine vehicle parts.
The Happy World of 5FM Radio, your adult contemporary radio station in Zambia, connecting you to the newsmakers and events that make news in the global village.
Good evening. This is the 5FM main news at 18:30 with Judith Mwape. The headlines. ACC arrests a senior planner at the Northern Provincial Planning Unit for abuse of authority of office. Lusaka City Council calls for the removal of gambling machines from shops to protect children. Most Liberian pharmacies sell stolen aid drugs. And now the news in detail. The Anti-Corruption Commission has arrested a senior planner at the Northern Provincial Planning Unit and a lands officer of the Ministry of Lands for abuse of authority of office. In a statement, ACC Head of Corporate Communications, Timothy Mono, says Titus Walima, aged 44 of Mansa Town, and Peter Chisanga, aged 38 of Mobile Area in Kabwe, have been charged with one count of abuse of authority of office, contrary to Section 21 of the Anti-Corruption Act number 3 of 2021. Mr. Mono explains that Mr. Walima and Mr. Chisanga, on dates unknown but between 1st January 2016 and 31st October 2016 in Kasama District, Northern Province, being public officers, namely senior planner at the Provincial Planning Unit and lands officer in the Ministry of Lands respectively, did abuse the authority of office in the manner they selected some members of the public as beneficiaries of property number Kasama IN 240880. He says the act was prejudicial of the rights of the government. He says the duo has since been released on bond and will appear in court on 30th April 2024. A high-level Zambian delegation led by Finance and National Planning Minister Stombeko Msokotwane is in Washington, D.C. for the 2024 spring meetings of the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank Group, which commenced today and ends on Sunday, 21st April 2024. Dr. Msokotwane is accompanied by Secretary to the Treasury Felix Nkulukusa, Bank of Zambia Governor Danny Kadiaria, Acting Permanent Secretary, Budget and Economic Affairs, Mwaka Mukabesa, Zambia Revenue Authority Commissioner General Dingani Banda, and Bank of Zambia Deputy Governor Operations Francis Chipimo. On the sidelines of the IMF World Bank spring meetings, Zambia will also be represented during the Global Parliamentary Forum by parliamentarians Fred Chatila and Davidson Munangandu. The ministerial delegation was met on arrival in Washington, D.C. by Ambassador to the United States of America, Chibamba Kanyama, and other embassy staff. During the welcoming engagement, Mr. Kanyama took the opportunity to describe the participation in the meetings as a pivotal occasion in elevating development cooperation with the Bretton Woods institutions, IMF and World Bank Group, and sustaining global interest in the investment prospects in agriculture development, tourism, mining, manufacturing value chain, manufacture development through public-private partnerships, the capital market, and many others. During the week-long spring meetings, the delegation will participate in a series of IMF and World Bank scheduled events, hold bilateral talks with other development partners, and engage investors from across the globe. This is contained in a statement issued by Ministry of Finance, Office of the Secretary to the Treasury. The Zambia National Women's Lobby is excited with the gender representation of candidates nominated for election to the Law Association of Zambia Council elections. In a statement, Organization National Board Chairperson Daisy Ngambi says the gender diversity in the candidate pool will contribute to enhancing the legitimacy of the LAS electoral process as it is reflective of the members of the association. Mrs. Ngambi is of the view that having gender balance in the leadership of LAS will enhance innovation and competitiveness and contribute to the growth of the legal profession in Zambia. She also believes that electing women to the LAS Council will motivate other women in the legal profession to contest for leadership roles within and outside the association, thereby contributing to the attainment of gender equality in Zambia. Mrs. Ngambi has encouraged members of LAS to vote for the female candidates contesting various positions, including the presidency. She is expectant that once elected to the LAS Council, the female aspirants will offer their expertise and influence on the interpretation and domestication of regional and international commitments on gender that Zambia is party to. The Lusaka City Council has expressed concern with the move by some shop owners to place gambling machines, commonly known as bonanzas, in their shops, especially in the peri-urban areas across the city. Council Public Relations Manager Chola Mwamba says this has led to underage children patronizing and taking part in gambling activities, an act which has resulted in some young learners absconding from schools. Ms. Mwamba says this worrying trend has not only raised concerns about the well-being of young people who have now made gambling a part of their routine, but it has also highlighted the urgent need for effective education and prevention programs. She has called on all owners of gambling machines, particularly bonanzas, to remove the machines with immediate effect and find specific places to turn into gambling establishments which will not be accessible to children. Ms. Mwamba notes that it is the responsibility of these facility owners to uphold the law and protect the youth from participating in gambling and other activities that are not suitable for young people.
Gambling activities have taken center stage in many communities, and we are appealing to parents or rather guardians to work together with the local authority to stop the children from participating in the gambling games. The council is also calling on all the owners of gambling machines, particularly bonanzas, to with immediate effect remove the machines and find specific places to turn into gambling establishments which will not be accessible to children.
Swalapilu Organization Chairperson Mary Kumfanga states that the organization is committed to making a lasting impact on individuals' lives by addressing the complex factors contributing to suicide among youths. Speaking during the launch of Swalapilu Organization, Ms. Kumfanga explains that their mission is to implement targeted programs aimed at curbing suicidal cases with a special focus on vulnerable groups such as the elderly, young people, men and women in uniforms, students, and among spouses. Ms. Kumfanga emphasized that her organization has recognized the importance of addressing the root causes of suicide through comprehensive research. She adds that through programs and initiatives, they will engage individuals at risk of suicide in constructive and meaningful activities.
Core of our approach. We aim to design and execute community-based activities and workshops that empower individuals with knowledge and skills to navigate life challenges. By collaborating with local communities, we seek sustainable solutions that address underlying issues contributing to suicide, promoting a holistic approach to mental health.
Meanwhile, educationist William Walla says the organization is coming up with strategies on how to prepare the minds of young learners where they will be taught what to do every hour for them to have good results at school to avoid mental pressure which leads to suicidal thoughts.
Because we are coming up with strategies on how to prepare the minds of a learner from the beginning. In our friends, we are getting some ideas from our developed countries where a child will know what he's supposed to do every hour for him to pass. So that even when they give them results, when they are in the exam, they will be able to tell this one I've failed, this one I've passed, this one I've failed. When someone knows what he has done from the beginning and what he's done, he will do, there will be no mental pressure.
In other stories trending this evening, the newly elected Economic Association of Zambia Executive Committee has assured to restore public confidence following politicization of the association by the previous leaderships. UN's Special Representative of the Secretary General on Violence Against Children, Najar Majid, has applauded the government for the strong commitment and efforts to end violence against children and stresses on the need to invest more in child protection and well-being. Up next to business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
Over 150 exhibitors are expected to attend this year's Agritech Expo, slated for 18th to 20th April 2024 in Chisamba, Central Province. Agritech Expo Zambia is a business-to-business purchasing platform for agricultural professions from small-scale farmers to commercial enterprises. The Agritech Expo presents an opportunity to establish a marketplace where regional and international industry professionals, young agripreneurs, and farmers of all scales can come together and engage in exclusive agribusiness transactions while learning about the latest global industry trends and how to advance to the next generation of food production. Speaking at a media briefing this morning, Agritech Project Director Lars Huff says 20,000 people in the industry are expected to attend the expo, which will include activities such as demonstrations of machinery and product innovations, agritech workshops, crop trials, livestock and irrigation zones, among others. Dr. Huff further states that Agritech will also commemorate its 10 years anniversary and existence in the agriculture sector.
Because at this event, everyone has the opportunity to learn more, to improve their knowledge, and to see and discuss directions they could take their business or their farm. So that's why this show is actually a hub for bringing the industry together once a year. That's how the show looks. I think many of you have attended before. It's a really, really big field, and with a lot of crop plots and machinery demos.
That ends the business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
And now in foreign news, about 90% of pharmacies in Liberia are selling stolen medicine donated by aid organizations, the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, says. USAID Mission Director Jim Wright at the weekend said such acts of fraud prevent Liberians from receiving donated essential medicines. Following the revelation, 6 Liberian civil groups have launched a national media campaign aimed at monitoring the distribution of aid medical supplies and raising awareness that donated medicines are free and should not be sold. Here's Rhonda from the BBC.
Iran has sought to justify its unprecedented attack on Israel, telling Western countries they should appreciate its restraint. An Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesman, Nasser Kanani, said the strikes, involving more than 300 missiles and drones, were a limited act of self-defense. France, Germany and Britain are among those urging Israel to avoid any escalation. President Emmanuel Macron said France would do everything possible to avoid what he described as a regional conflagration. The French government says it hopes the International Conference on Sudan, being held in Paris, will break the wall of silence around the year-long conflict. A government-appointed commission in Germany has recommended that abortion be legalized. Hundreds of demonstrators have gathered outside Parliament in the Georgian capital Tbilisi to protest against what they call a Russian law. The first trial of a US military contractor accused of torturing detainees at Abu Ghraib prison in Iraq 20 years ago is due to start near Washington.
And finally, in sports news, former Chipolo Polo captain Renford Kalava is still hospitalized at the University Teaching Hospital, where he continues to receive medical care. Kalava's condition shows significant improvement, with doctors noting a positive response to treatment. He is currently in a stable condition, which is encouraging news for his recovery. Medical professionals at the hospital are diligently monitoring Kalava's progress and are committed to providing him with the necessary treatment to facilitate his improvement. This is contained in a statement issued by UTH's Public Relations Officer, Zeba Chanda. Another weather report brought to you by Class Econ.
Class Econ Roofing Africa.
Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy.
Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
Lusaka, Central, Copperbelt, Luapula, Northern, Muchinga, and Eastern provinces, including the eastern parts of northwestern and northern parts of southern provinces, are partly cloudy, windy at times, and mild to cool, with a chance of isolated slight rain. Western province, including the western parts of northwestern and southern parts of southern province, are partly cloudy, windy at times, and mild to cool. That ends the weather report.
Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa.
Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy.
Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
And that item brings us to the end of the news this evening. But before we go, a recap of the top stories. ACC arrests senior planner at the Northern Provincial Planning Unit for abuse of authority of office. Lusaka City Council calls for the removal of gambling machines from shops to protect children. Most Liberian pharmacies sell stolen aid drugs. For more news, follow us on Facebook, 5FM Radio Zambia. On behalf of the entire news crew and the technical department, thank you for listening to the Happy World of 5FM. Stay safe and stay tuned to 5FM Radio. I'm Judith Mobe. Good evening.